Welcome back to Beards and Brews. This week's review is going to be about Face/Off, directed by John Woo, who's famous for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and unfortunately, Face Off.
I think you mean to call this movie Trading Faces, a buddy comedy.
Oh no, you've been sitting on that for like a week, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I have.
By the way, the first thing I'm going to say about this movie, and I'm going to remind you several times during this movie, or during this cast, this has a Metacritic score of 83. Just keep that in your pocket.
No, this was a hit. This was a huge hit. I mean, John Woo, like, hot on his tails of, like, this great film career in China, like, you know, Hard-Boiled, all that other stuff, some great action pictures, and he finally came over here and started making movies. People went to go see them. People were super curious whether it was fucking bad or not.
Yeah, well, this was ridiculous, but I have no doubt it would have been, you know, a box office smash.
Yeah, it made 3 times its budget.
And the budget had to be up there because, fucking good lord, it had like 3 different 4th of July fireworks finales going on.
Oh my god, everything just exploded into firecrackers.
Just the sparks from Power Rangers.
I mean, how else are you going to afford one actor trying to be another actor as another actor?
With sparks and doves.
Inexplicable doves.
Inexplicable doves, I like that hashtag. So just to quickly jump into things, John Travolta is like an FBI agent, and he's just taking his son out for a stroll. They decide to go to a fairground. There's a nice little merry-go-round. It's very just dreamy or something like that. A very just like stereotypical, just like good time.
Wait, is he FBI? I thought he was like LAP, like high up LAPD or something.
No, because like later on he's like, get the LAPD on this, and that one agent lady just like, don't yell at me, it scares me.
He doesn't know what he is because, to Chandler's point, he's like, I'm the FBI, and he's like, I'm the best cop around. I'm a cop. I'm an FBI agent.
Well, like,
he fucks his lines up, I guess.
In a little bit, he says something like really like he's shit talking the FBI or something. So I thought he was LAPD, but I remember you saying shit about LAPD too, like LAPD intelligence, if there is any, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know who this guy works for.
He's like, I'm NSA. The S stands for Scientology.
But yes, he is some form of
law enforcement.
He is some sort of law enforcement agent, someone pretty high up. He lives in Los Angeles.
Like, law enforcement is super loose because it's just straight up revenge and depression.
Yes, the things that he starts doing in some of these interrogations, it's like, dude, that is not fucking legal.
Oh, 100%. I have that written down for later, too. Like, what the fuck? There's actually a lot of what the fuck. At least 8. So
yeah, he is with his son, just having a good old day at the carousel, and we see fucking terrorist for hire, Nick Cage.
Yeah, it's like he's a pedophile assassin, but he's not taking out pedophiles with that fucking porn stash. He looks like one.
Yeah, like he's got this big old mustache and he's slurping a fucking McFlurry or something. They don't even explain why he's got the mustache, other than, you know, it was in the past when mustaches were cool.
Is that just to separate, like, 6 years ago from 6 years later? It's like, hey, 6 years ago, you can tell it was 6 years ago because he had a mustache then.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you already have to differentiate, like, an actor playing another character, but still as the other person. He's got a mustache. Make it easy. Whatever.
Look, what it was is that he was like, look, I'm in my Mario phase.
So I guess John Travolta's character had been chasing him forever, so he gets a chance to take him out. He takes the shot, but unfortunately, the shot blows through John Travolta, his like shoulder or whatever, and just nails his kid in the face. And I didn't mean to laugh. It's not. The moment wasn't funny. It was the reaction from Nick Cage after he took the shot. He's just like, all right then.
That was a strong bullet.
Yeah, they didn't solve anything, and he was done. He could have just taken another shot. He just leaves.
He's like, I guess that's good enough.
If Lee Harvey Oswald just had that resolved, then we'd still have JFK sitting around, you know?
So yeah, he kills him. Like, if anyone's out there seen The Punisher, it's The Punisher, you know? I'm gonna kill you, Frank Castle, but I didn't. I killed your kid instead, so now you're gonna come and get me!
By the way, these character names, we've got John Travolta as Sean Archer, and we've got Nick Cage as fucking terrorist for hire, Castor Troy.
Yeah, they all have like action movie names.
Oh, for sure.
So from here out, we're just gonna be either John Travolta, #JT, or Nick Cage, whatever.
Things get confusing. I'll let you know.
We'll do a hard stop. We'll be like, okay, this is the moment where the characters swap but still have the same names. Okay.
Okay. So kid's dead. We do get like a little 6 years later.
Yeah, but unfortunately, facial hair is no longer in style.
Rip in
so
peace.
we catch up to Nick Cage in a priest outfit, like one of those robes or whatever.
Like not like any other priest. He's like an Eastern Orthodox priest.
Yeah, and this isn't even a church. This is the LA Convention Center. I guess they're having some kind of like sing-off or whatever, and he's just discoing around, just fucking hustling away.
You know who he reminds me of here is fucking the Jesus in The Big Lebowski.
Good point. I like that.
But he's planting this gigantic fucking bomb that, and this is something that everyone who watches this film is going to have to like just deal with. Shit happens in the open constantly, and fucking nobody, and I mean nobody, sees it.
Yeah.
Even when the fucking kid got shot at the carousel, nobody around was giving a shit. I saw nobody else, no other bystanders reacting. Nobody's even running away or anything. It's just, those are the only two people that you see.
Like, there's a scene coming up in just a moment while he's dancing around as the Catholic bomber, where he grabs this young lady, and fucking no one, not even a kid standing directly behind them, looking down, notices this.
Yeah, it's like a blonde little choir girl, and he just gets behind her and is just like, hey, pretty mama.
I was going to say, like, well, they're Catholic and they just expect that stuff, but then again, it wasn't a boy, so it might have been a little weird for him.
No, this is not Catholic. This is straight up Orthodox. Like, I saw no indications of Catholicism. These boys are Orthodox.
He had that little T around his neck, so I don't know.
Oh,
you're
making okay, I got you. Yeah, no, because he's supposed to be like, Nick Cage is supposed to be, what is he, like, Serbian or something. Not Serbian, somewhere over there in the Balkans. That's where his ethnicity is supposed to be from.
Well, his haircut says Slavic.
Yeah.
So we get Nick Cage going fucking ridiculous, headbanging, spinning around, just acting the fuck up to just set the mood for this movie. Once you see this opening bit of the Catholic bomber doing his thing, you go, there's no fucking way that I can take this serious.
I mean, on top of that, we mentioned earlier how no one reacts to anything. Everybody knows who Castor Troy is. He's like a celebrity terrorist.
Yeah,
I mean,
or something basically.
Yeah, and he's walking around or waltzing around, dancing and everything with no head covering, no disguise, and he's just going around grabbing people's asses and planting bombs, probably on someone's ass.
'Cause you don't fuck with the Jesus, huh?
Oh, and then we cut to John Travolta delivering some lines, like in his office where, you know, important things are apparently happening or something. And he's like, we're not going to take a break until this case breaks. And it's so fucking bad.
Oh, man. Like,
Yeah, Travolta's not good.
yeah, John Travolta is not intimidating at all. Like,
No.
he can get wider as a person, but his voice still screams like 22.
Hey, get over here! And everyone's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Hey,
My
up
God,
your nose
me-
with a rubber hose.
The exact thing my son said whenever we're sitting there watching it laughing, and he's in there doing the interrogation with a gun in this dude's fucking eye socket. And he's like, tell me you tell me! And the guy's like, okay, I'll finally tell you. Just so fucking...
Beating up Mr. Clean in the fucking interrogation room. No, he didn't even use the interrogation room. I think it was his office, wasn't it?
Yeah, just whoops his ass out in the fucking open. Nobody sees it. Gun in the man's fucking eye socket. Nobody sees it. And you get fucking lines from this man throughout the movie because they're like, Sean, you're going to have to get your butt together. He's like, well, you can jet through the Fourth Amendment on my butt. You're just like, the fuck?
I don't remember that. I wish I did.
Yeah, he's a grown man, and he tried to intimidate somebody with saying the word butt. Okay, thank you, PG-13.
It's crazy. Well, I don't understand how PG-13, like, if you say shit or fuck, you're like, whoa, you gotta give it an R rating. But you can go and lick a girl on her face in the most rapey, creepy way possible. And like, nah, that's cool, kid. Yeah, it's just so weird. But that's okay. That's still PG-13, but shit isn't.
I mean, this movie came out in, what, 1996, 97?
Yep.
It's got that Weinstein charm.
Oh, right.
Deep.
All right, but one thing I do want to talk about before we move on is our sort of not exact introduction to Nick Cage, but figuring out who exactly Nick Cage's character, Castor Troy, is. You see him roll up on the tarmac there at the airport once all of this is done in his like brand new Cadillac. He comes out with his gold dual pistol strapped to him, and his butler or whoever it is, his friend, entourage comes up with him, opens up this box, which is, I guess, all of his personal effects, and you see just like a bunch of pre-rolled joints, a box of chiclets, some random pills.
He's just, his fucking outfit looks like, Interview with a Vampire.
It's almost like his outfit is just screaming, just like, Slavic hacker.
Oh, like Angelina Jolie's in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's who actually is sucking on his tongue in the airplane.
Oh my god.
It's disgusting.
But we're also introduced to another key character here. And one of the first things that made me go, wait a minute, this is stupid in the film. His brother Moose, what was his name?
Lomax or something like that. Pollux.
Lomax.
The Lomax.
It's Bernie.
We got this kid, and he's like, oh, well, I booked the plane for you. And he's like, okay, well, good job, guy. And it's like, this is your fucking brother who's also on an FBI watch list, and he's able to book a goddamn plane?
Not only does that not make sense, they fucking track his purchase, and he paid for it in cash and knew exactly who it was. In fact, not only that, they knew it was Castor Troy and not his brother who made the payment for the plane.
Don't ask questions. It's all about the action.
Yeah,
they let that happen so that they could trap him, right? I thought the part that you were going to point out that doesn't make any sense is you've got his little brother, who is like, a grown-ass man, smart as a fucking tack, able-bodied, but Nick Cage still bends over to tie his shoe.
I feel like he's on the spectrum. That's
For
just
sure, but he's not that far off the spectrum.
I just don't know. There's like a lot of weird stuff in the scene. There's a lot of weird stuff in this movie. He even hands the guy a wad of cash in a hair clip. Mind you, Nick Cage has very little hair. So...
True.
Whatever.
So, aboard the plane, we're introduced to the level of fuckery that Nick Cage will only increase in.
This is not fuckery. This is suckery.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's this poor woman who's a plant from the FBI, and I guess she's just in it to win it, gotta do whatever he wants. And he just asked her, like, hey, what would it take for you to suck my tongue?
No. He wasn't gonna give her anything. He said, if I were to let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful?
Oh my god. I bet it tasted like aborted Superman.
Oh.
It was so fucking cringe.
It was awkward.
And it's not even like, just this fucking movie, man.
It has a Metascore of 83.
That's the running shtick.
So, they're on this fucking plane, and all of a sudden they're like, huh? And Nick Cage has been wearing these goofy-ass sunglasses, and he does that classic rip him off the face, look out the window, and he's like, Jesus, guys, it's the fuzz.
But we end up with like a game of chicken here between the plane, which is barreling. This is a jet engine plane barreling down the tarmac, versus like a Hummer and a group of normal ass automobiles.
Mind you, this is a police officer or a law enforcement agent playing chicken with a jet that has notably 4 or 5 innocent people aboard.
Yeah. And JT just goes for it. He's just gung-ho. It's just revenge over job at this point. Nick Cage kind of like calls his bluff, like, you know, that chick that sucked his tongue, like, blows her cover, immediately gets thwarted.
Some bitch. And then he opens up the goddamn side of the plane, shoots her, throws her out, obvious ragdoll dummy, cut to real her, and then it's him in the fucking plane while it's zipping down the runway, just shrugging his shoulders like, meh.
I mean, like, that's hilarious, but he had a moment of just like, ah, man, I gotta kill this chick, and then, like, shoots her in the spine.
Yeah, and you got JT screaming at the top of his lungs in this fucking car, "You got Winters!" And you're just like, whoa!
But they kind of start surrounding him. You know, you've got a helicopter that's kind of like lodged in the top of the plane, keeping it on the ground. Nick Cage is all, "Fly, bitch!" And the pilot's like, "I can't, bitch."
And so Nick Cage is like, "Oh, bitch," and shoots him.
Yeah.
Everybody winds up getting shooted, but let's go back to that helicopter keeping the plane on the ground. That's also John Travolta piloting that helicopter in just a wild, crazy fucking chain of events.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, he jumps out the truck, jumps into the helicopter, and he's like, "Follow the jet!"
Like it's a fucking mission from GTA.
I didn't even notice that. All right.
Now, he shoots out the engines, and this is where shit gets, for the, you know, maybe second time already in this film, just over the fucking top. The engines are out. Nick Cage is like, "What am I going to do? I'm going to just drive the fucking jet like it's a car." And he uses one hand and just steers it into a fucking hangar.
I think he was like, "Oh, this thing doesn't have the turning radius that my Cadillac has, so whoops, guess I'm going into this fucking closed off hangar. Whoops."
Well, I mean, hangars are just giant parking spots for planes. It works out.
Yeah, because as soon as he slams through the door, it's just the 4th of July. Just boom, you get this, and there's the jet crash with the fucking sparks, you know, and we get treated to some hot fuzz level diving through the air whilst firing 2 guns.
Oh.
See, I thought this was more Max Payne.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's the big move in this movie. If you have a gun, you have to shoot it flying sideways through the air. Period.
Even better if you're in slow motion.
While everyone
It's a bullet time.
Motion.
And, like, these gunshots are 100% classic 80s action style. So the good guy / bad guy, the main people, there's no fucking way they're getting hit. But they're spraying in the craziest ways and shooting people no matter what. And there's a bit where Nick Cage gets a shotgun, and it's so fucking ridiculous. He's like, boom, and shoots this cop. And that cop is on a wire. And that cop goes air fucking borne.
I fucking wish that happened in the whole movie. Like, people would just get, like, blown away in these crazy, ridiculous fashions. But that's just like a... But you don't get enough of it. Like, it's so inconsistent. And then, like, in the next scene, you have JT shoot this chain, and he goes flying up in the air, sailing around. He's just fucking the least impressive person to do this shit.
Yeah. And it's just wasted. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean gone wrong.
Don't Caribbean.
So, I don't know why in this situation they've got enough people that they can just surround the hangar. Why don't they just surround the hangar instead of going in there and just like, let's shoot up the place?
100% I can tell you why. Because fucking Sean Archer, John Travolta's character, will not have it. This man is a fucking glory hound. Okay, he is a fucking glory hound, and he shows it throughout the film, putting other people's lives at risk, constantly, you know, making sure that he's the one out there. Now, check this out. This dude, one of just the regular no-name cop guys, has Nick Cage dead to fucking rights. He's going to shoot him. He is literally pulling the gun up while Castor Troy doesn't have a shot whatsoever. He's pulling it up. And John Travolta's like, "Get down!" and knocks him down.
Yeah.
And tries to shoot him. And Castor Troy spins around and starts firing in return whenever, this dude had him.
Yeah.
But he wanted the glory.
I had it written down as he yells Barkley down, gives away his position, and he gets murdered. So basically, he ordered that man to get dead.
Yeah, he's like, meat chilled.
Basically.
Then we get like this real weird one bullet left, quote unquote, face off moment. It's kind of like a Batman Joker shit. Yeah.
There's a lot of this in this movie where it's just a fucking movie just all over the place. It's just they just have to monologue and just fucking chew scenery while they pointing guns at each other.
Like they're moving the guns and they're like making so much fucking noise. And he's like, "You got one bullet left." He's like, "Oh, sounds like you know guns too, bro. We're the Batman and Joker, right?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Click. Oh, I'm out of bullets." And then he starts crying.
Oh, please don't kill me.
Good thing I got this little dagger in my boot.
there's a knife in my boot.
Oh.
And then wind tunnel? What the fuck?
No,
I don't even know how it got to that.
One of the jet engines got turned on or something.
Yeah, it's like a testing facility too somehow. And they're standing beside it. It's still running, by the way, because it got turned on wackily earlier. And they're beside it. And then he gets like kicked in the balls or something by John Travolta. And he kind of like, whoa, his way in front of it. Like he's
so fucking
yeah.
And then he gets blown down the goddamn tunnel and smashes into a wall, and these fuckers have the gall to give Nick Cage his Elvis reference. So he smashes against the fucking back wall, and they're like, "The king has left the building." He's like, "Shut up. Shut the fuck up."
Visibly mad at the movie.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it. We got Nick Cage, that's the end of the movie, right?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
We get treated to 10 minutes of family issues.
Oh,
Thank God.
I hate this fucking part of the movie. Because, like, we get treated to John Travolta. He kind of he won, basically. He finally got his revenge, per se. And he goes home. His whole fucking family hates him. He's just such a sad asshole. And he just can't fucking be happy, so his daughter's a piece of shit. His wife is frigid. His co-workers fucking hate him. They even gave him a bottle of champagne as congratulations. It's like, no, you see this? This is for everybody who died. You'd like my son who died. Remember when he died?
Guys like Berkeley who died.
Yeah. And it was like, what the... Man, fuck off.
But I don't want to gloss over this with the family issue thing. So the daughter's sitting there, and the mom's like, your daughter got suspended again. It's like, for fighting? He's like, yep. Well, why'd you get suspended for fighting? Dad, you didn't even ask me what happened, Dad. And then he's all like, well, okay, what happened? And she does like this dramatic turn, and you get to see the worst fucking goth makeup reveal you've ever seen. And she's like, the 90s, Dad. The 90s happened.
It's only the worst goth makeup because she's not used to it. She only became goth this week.
Yeah, this week.
Fair enough.
Did you guys like the idea of the diversity quota partner?
No, what?
It's like the only black dude you see in the entire film is his partner.
Oh, you mean Tito?
Yeah. That's it.
Oh my god. When I found out his name was Tito, I fucking threw my face into my palm. Holy shit, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, his name was actually Tito? Okay, then that's not racist.
Shit was ridiculous. And then, like, he's just not happy, and he's like, oh, well, we got this floppy disk that says that you made a bomb. He's like, I didn't make a bomb. It's not a crime to exercise the mind. And this is fucking Pollock's, Nick Cage's character's brother, and he's got this fucking pinky wave that he does, where he waves his pinky, and I was like, the fuck is this? It's not quirky, it's not cute, it's not endearing, it's fucking stupid.
It's just gross. It's kind of weird. I mean, like, it's almost like his family just has a history of pedophilia.
I don't think that's indicative of pedophilia. I just think they're maybe a little bit weird,
Sir, Freddy got fingered behind the heater. He used his little finger in the exact same fashion. It was like he fingered me.
I'm just saying, he looks like a diddler.
Oh, definitely. And John Travolta becomes a fucking diddler.
Diddler on the roof.
They've got this big moment where it's like, uh-oh, we're never going to find this bomb. He's like, there really is a bomb. Well, the only way that you could find out for sure is if you were Castor Troy. And he's like, but Castor's dead. He's like, no, he isn't. Look.
This is where the movie lost me.
It turns out he's actually a turnip.
And so we get this big exposition thing of how they apparently have the technology to take one man's face and put it onto another man's face, since they can rebuild this dude's ear Starship Trooper style.
Why was this the first option? Why was this the first thing they thought of? This is super obscure, super risky procedure. He's like, yeah, perfect.
Well, it's the 18th. You've only got a week, and I don't know. This is it. This is the only time we can do this. Let's do it.
Okay, so I've seen this movie before. I knew it was in for, but yeah, watching it with scrutiny is totally just like threw me off the rails. I was like, come on, guys, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all they would have had to have done is like show the little brother that he was alive and just fucking threaten to kill him because he was already legally dead. He basically doesn't exist, so they can do what they want with the body. I mean, I'm trying to see if they could produce some kind of leverage on the brother because he's a squirt anyways. Whatever.
Yeah, he would have coughed it up.
Yeah, take some kind of chance. Just like don't go straight in with the I'm going to become Cast Destroy thing, you know?
Yeah, and everybody was on fucking board. Even JT's like, oh, I can't do it, but I must.
Dude, he even goes through a list. He's like, you want me to abandon everything I know and love? I'll do it. He's like, yeah, fuck it. I know it. Yeah. This is, mind you, viewers, this is 30 minutes into the goddamn film, and I'm like, this got made.
This is an off-the-books mission, by the way. You can't tell anybody, can't tell your family, can't tell your direct superior. This is an illegal mission.
Oh my god, this was totally made.
He goes for that, I'm going back in one last time. That old cliche.
Yeah. And we are treated to literally the titular face-off.
Yeah, by Dr. Himmler over there, just this Nazi-looking guy who's apparently the best of facial transplant, because that's a thing. Whatever, okay.
And they do it, like, lickety-split. There's instant recovery, no fucking swelling, no scar tissue.
None.
And Cage's face is just wrapped up like Dark Man.
Oh
yeah,
my
they
god.
just like you see him draw a little like pen line around his face, and then the next thing you know, the laser is cutting his face off. Just like a minute or two later. Goes straight from Bic to laser.
Seeing how easy it was, the doctor might as well just walked in with like a sandwich in his hand and a mouthful of food. Like, yeah, all I gotta do is do a little thing here and do a little thing. Yeah, it's perfect. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got you. Let's do it.
Hit this button right here and we're all done.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And so now we have John Travolta, whose body that they also altered to make it look more like Nick Cage's. They even make a poke at him for being fat for the film, which I thought was pretty good. They swap faces. So now Nick Cage, when you see Nick Cage on screen, he is supposed to be secretly John Travolta. And in this scene, they haven't fixed his voice yet. And it's fucking Nick Cage's face with John Travolta's voice. And it's one of the most disturbing things I have ever been privy to.
Okay, I fear that you're confusing our audience. The character, Sean Archer, is now in the body of Nick Cage. Alright, that's what we've got.
I feel like the reconstruction process is a little too in-depth. You know, like, of course he needs like the same like body features and stuff, but everything down to like body hair that no one's gonna see, musculature, no one's gonna fucking
might see.
You gotta explain it because John Travolta's fat and Nick Cage is not. He's coming fresh off of Con Air. He's fucking jacked.
I just feel like if this were a South Park bit, it would be talking about them switching dicks.
I wonder
There
if,
is a scene where that should be a thing, and it's not even brought up.
You're right.
Oh, the marital thing, yeah?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Maybe she's just like, whatever this is, you know, we haven't had sex in months, I wouldn't know.
I forgot what this was all about.
I'm pretty sure if you look down and your husband's dick looked 100% different, you go, your dick looks weird.
Maybe there wasn't that big of a difference. I mean, I'm sure there was some differences, but I mean, we don't know what each one of those actors is packing.
She turned the lights
I wish
out.
I did.
Regardless, this scene is ridiculous. And he is now, through the miracle of modern science, by having his face switched and some hair plugs done, he is now 60 pounds lighter and fucking a lean, mean cut machine. And they have to alter his voice with the line of, a peach, I could eat a peach for hours, that he uses earlier in the plane, which is already fucking creepy enough and will be referenced plenty more times in the film.
I don't think you're putting enough respect on that line. A peach. I could eat a peach for hours.
Oh, great. Now we all feel gross.
I've already taken a shower today, Chandler.
I don't know. I like gross. I'm gonna start jacking off.
Now I just picture it really happening during every podcast. He's over there fucking just jerking his pud. Just.
What?
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold off for the climax until we get a little lick going on.
You know, he just had like a tuna fucking sandwich too.
Gross.
Just smells like cigarettes and day old fucking tuna.
He's just over there at the craft bar, just wolfing down the tuna melt.
I also thought of a tuna melt, not just a regular ass tuna sandwich, but a tuna melt with like extra pickles.
Like you got onions on that bitch. Why not? Treat yourself.
You know, honestly, that sounds delicious. I'm not even gonna hate.
He's just like talking to other actors while he's just got a face full of food. He's like, "Oh, the onions make it crunchy, don't they? Oh man."
Yeah, we're not even talking about Castor Troy or Sean or whoever he is. We're talking about Nick Cage and licking this 16, 17-year-old girl actress.
Well, that's old JT giving the licks.
You're right. You are right. I forget whose body was in whose body. It gets confusing. I told you.
Again, thanks to the miracle of modern science, he has had liposuction, yada yada yada. He is a brand new man, and he's going to go undercover in this super secret prison. He goes undercover to be with his fucking brother, or not his brother.
Yeah, Castor Troy's brother.
Correct. And we are treated to Connie Chung, and she is now Exposition Chung, and she's like, "You're going to jail out here on this thing, and I'll tell you what, if Sean was here, you'd be telling you what for, I'll tell you what, but he's knee-deep in a Georgia swamp. Does this fucking matter? Does it fucking..."
Which is crazy, because they did let him beat the shit out of, like, 3 witnesses.
Yeah.
I guess that's what she's trying to reference, he's trying to play good cop, Scientology cop or something.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's in the jail, and we are treated to 80% nude Nicolas Cage shot from the just above the pubic hair up. And boy oh boy are his muscles on point, hashtag on fleek. His chest hair is highlighted and ridiculous.
Does he have drip?
What?
That's a thing the kids are saying now. They've got drip.
I guess. All I could think was fucking Scott Hall from the NWO, just oozing machismo.
Oh. One more for the bad guys.
Hey, yo.
So I guess we can all agree, tasteful nudity.
Oh, very tasteful. And my favorite little piece is coming up. They are in a prison, and we have Officer Exposition who explains how the prison works. They have to wear these little magnetic boots, and everything can be controlled via, trackers and magnets.
What is this? The fucking X-Men?
For reals.
It just turns into that escape plan movie with Schwarzenegger and
100%. 100%. You are dead on, Eric. Dead the fuck on.
Fucking awful movie.
And
all of these prisoners have metal magnetic boots, and they walk around, and everything is controlled with a magnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been told that the Geneva Convention doesn't apply here, so...
Did anyone else make the joke that once he put the boots on, they powered on, and he started walking, and it was like, foo-chunk, foo-chunk. I was like, oh shit, it's Robo-Cage.
Oh, nice.
My next question was, how did the prisoners take off their socks if they had to wear these boots all the time?
You're thinking about it. That's your problem.
Yeah.
But he gets there, and he almost immediately sees his brother. And his brother sees him, they lock eyes.
They kiss.
They do kiss, but that's just a family thing. They're all right. It's not gay.
Yeah.
Just his little pinky wave.
He realizes he's Castor Troy. He's Castor Troy, so he has to start acting like him. So now we are treated to Nicolas Cage acting as if he were John Travolta, acting if he were Castor Troy, the character.
Which is a fucking treat. So he's getting beat up, and he gets knocked down to the ground. He's got blood coming out of his face, And he looks over at his brother, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm supposed to be a crazy guy." So he makes a crazy guy face, like, ugh, flawless.
I mean, he just looked like he stubbed his toe and he was into it. That's all it looked like.
And Pollux looks apprehensive, to say the best. Like,
I mean, as he should be. I mean, at this point, the cafeteria erupts into like this big prison free-for-all, an all-inclusive cage match.
oh,
Where Nicolas Cage is screaming, "Watch your fucking mouth!" And then I'm going, "Woo!" at the same time.
But it's like, it's such a sad woo.
Yeah, he's fucking beyond able to channel an emotional breakdown.
I
but
mean,
he does let everyone know that he is Castor Troy.
I'm Castor Troy.
Hi, it's me. I'm Castor Troy. That's right.
Vote for me. I'm Castor Troy. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Castor Troy.
kiss the baby, shake a hand. I'm Castor Troy.
Now, it cuts to some shit that when it happened, I threw my my notepad down because, again, I've watched this movie many times, never with scrutiny. How in the fuck does this heavily sedated man who is in a medically induced coma just wake up?
He just sits up Undertaker style.
Yeah, just, good God! He sat up!
Like you just got fucking Paul Bearer standing behind him, like waving his hands, getting him up. You know.
Oh, my Nicolas Cage! Just
What I had was that in the other room was a TV and a commercial was playing where it said Red Robins, to which he answered, "Yeah."
Young.
yes, that's exactly what it was. The Cheddar Goblin. He was like, Cheddar Goblin, huh?
My fucking face.
Yeah, because then he's just, got the Dark Man face wraps, and he makes some phone calls. That's the first thing he wants to do, make some phone calls.
Well, he has to make a phone call because he can't FaceTime.
So he does not have a face. He groans, and he does look into the adjoined room to see fucking John Travolta's face in a jar.
Yes, and this, sir, is a fucking treat. Because you get to see John Travolta's face floating in a jar, and Nick touches his bloody face, and he's like,
I mean, absolutely. I'd probably just screech too.
this is so fucking ridiculous.
There's no words to describe.
He's on the phone with whoever he's talking to. They took my.
But I don't understand. Like, you wake up from a medically induced coma. You're in agonizing pain. You're stumbling around. You see a man's face floating in a jar that's your arch enemy. My first thing would be like, oh shit, I'm fucking tripping. But he immediately knows what happened, who to call, what doctor did it, where that doctor is, how to get him here, and he has a plan, which is to put John Travolta's face on his own body and pretend to be him.
As you do.
It does equate to a really fun moment where it kind of turns into full gritty action movie. Like, they bring the doctor in, like his goons or whatever, and the doctor's like, "What do you want from me?" And he walks up to him, because you never see Cage's face or facelessness, like, full screen. You just see his reflection in the guy's glasses, like, "What do you goddamn think?"
Yeah, your classic bad guy line. But before that, whenever the doctor's coming in, he's just sitting there, and it sounds like he's talking to like a piece of lunch meat slapped on his face. He's like, "Bravo! Bravo! Bravo! Bravo!" Just keep fucking saying it and clapping.
It works, like he's trying to talk like he doesn't have any lips or anything. So
We cut right back instantly to actual, Nicolas Cage, who is John Travolta, hiding inside the prison talking to his brother. He's like, "What's wrong with you, big bro? You seem weird." He's like, "My brain's all fried like a bad tab of Quantrex." And I was like, what the fuck is Quantrex? Is that some shit he just made up?
I mean, it worked. It totally played off like, "Yep, that's my bro." Tee-hee, pinky wave.
Yeah, is that a real drug? I don't know if that's a real drug.
It sounds like the kind of thing that makes you regular.
You're right.
But to drive your point home, Chandler, or Eric, I can't really remember. He squeals immediately tells Castor that, "Oh yeah, and we got the bomb in the convention center." And he's like, "Ha, you're a fucking idiot. I'm getting out of here now." And In the time it took him to get into this prison, get into a fight, and learn this information, which to us, the viewer, is probably, let's just say, about 2 hours.
We'll say a day max.
A day maximum, correct. Because he goes in and, it shows that, whenever Nicolas Cage wakes up, it's nighttime. So it's a day at max. Well, he's like, all right, you're going to get me out of here. He's like, okay, well, you got a visitor. And guess who that visitor is?
That is the perfect infiltration unit, JT Model 101.
And they are face to face with each other, wearing each other's face.
And this is where John Travolta is playing what he thinks
Buddy.
is Crazy Cage.
This is where the film gets to happen. Now, mind you, Nick Cage has been going off the rails crazy this entire time, and he's been as much as we're making fun of this movie, he's been a joy to watch. Travolta has been trying to act, and it's atrocious. Now
he's just not a hard ass. His voice is too soft for it. I just don't fucking believe it.
Now he gets to just be goofy, and it doesn't really work, but at least it's funny, because the first thing he does, he's holding a fucking newspaper, and he's like, "Ooh wee, you're looking good," and you're just like, the fuck is going on?
And like, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, every time they have like a little moment like this, the gravity of the situation is like how fucked everything is at the moment.
Oh yeah, fucking completely agree. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, well let me just explain how I got here. Thanks, exposition." And we find out that all the people who knew about it and all the doctors that were involved are now dead. And he's like, look in the newspaper, and it's like, burnt buddies, burnt buddies.
Yeah, so all of the evidence that would prove that he is, who he is gone.
Yep, so now he's stuck as Castor Troy.
And boy, does he just fall into this weird, like, sad depression thing or whatever.
Well, what is he going to do?
They're trying to strangle him when he's like, die! Die!
Well, it's because he had a sex sandwich with that guy's wife and sister. Did you forget about the sex sandwich?
Oh, no. I just picture it's a hoagie. I don't know.
It is a tuna fucking hoagie.
We're back to the tuna melt.
Yeah. I bet that sex sandwich was like a seafood po' boy.
Oh,
the clams.
Man.
And now, he's just like, whatever, you're not getting out of here. And Pollux is getting let loose because of Castor Troy's fucking... It's stupid. It makes no sense, but it happens. The brother gets out.
Like, the idea isn't stupid, but how it happens, completely stupid. Evil JT is now just like, hey, I'm this public figure. Let's do everything the right way and be good guys so we can kind of profit at the end. So yeah, his brother gets released. And it's like, hey,
I've got a government job and a lovely wife to fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, make love to. And he's like, hey, let's go ahead and disarm the bomb and just be heroes of the day.
Take that wave of publicity and everything. Maybe he could end up being, I don't know, president or something.
He does have that Clinton vibe.
No, I think he's got that Joe Biden vibe.
Oh no, sniffing kids.
We get introduced to the wife with this super sexy intro, like it's zooming in on her like she's Michelle Pfeiffer in the fucking, the cat suit. Except for she's like this schoolmarm that looks, in her 60s. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess. And then it zooms in on her ass like she has an ass, but there's no ass.
Yeah, I think she is a fine-looking, 40-plus-year-old lady. If I'm 40-plus years old and I'm married to that, I am not complaining.
She looks like a political secretary.
Even in the movie itself, there's like a little bit of a disconnect, because like later on, the wife tried to get like a little frisky or whatever, but then like they hug, and John Travolta just makes a stink face like she's not Olivia Newton-John.
Fact.
Now, John Travolta is home, and this is where shit gets fucking weird.
Shit gets a little bit weird, yeah, for sure. You see John Travolta start snooping in his wife's journal to see that they haven't made love in 2 months.
Fucking loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then John Travolta encounters his counterpart's teenage daughter, very pretty, let's say, 16, 17-year-old daughter.
And the whole time I'm in my ref outfit with the whistle, just blowing away. Technical foul. No, nope, 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 nope.
This girl is roaming around in her fucking panties, wearing no bra, and John Travolta's character...
Were you paying attention to that?
Yeah, I did. It's the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh, she's like pretty much naked. And I thought it was going to be how those like stepdaughter porno things work out. You got something I crave. And he pushes up against her as she's like sprawling out against her dresser, groin to groin, rubbing across her as he picks up one of her cigarettes and comes back across. Regardless, viewers, if you are a teenage girl or a boy and someone grinds against you sexually to grab something next to you, you are being molested. Please seek help.
That is stranger danger, even if he is your father.
Yeah, even if John Travolta pays you $12,000, don't do it.
Yeah. And then walks out of the room like, Papa's got a brand new bag. 'Cause that song is playing. And she's like, yay, Dad. But it's like, ew.
Yay, Dad.
You forgot about the ow. Papa's got a brand new bag. Ow!
Ugh.
It's fucking loony.
You think she calls him Papa John?
Don't.
I mean, that guy can eat 40 pizzas in 30 days.
There's a bit coming up where John Travolta has to defuse the bomb, and he's like dancing around, and he gets done with it, and they're like, well, how'd you do it? And he's like, psh, who's the smart one now? Thank you. Next question. And it's just like something from Austin Powers. It's
No. I'm sorry to stop you, but before this scene, there's fucking, and I've got it written down in my notes. There's an exchange between the two brothers, John Travolta and Pollux, and he's like, you're not the only one in the family with brains, but I'm the only one in the family with looks. And John Travolta just looks back at him, touche. And when he makes that face, it's fucking Austin Powers.
Yeah, he does a few little things like that. There's even a little thing later, whenever he's getting interviewed, like, oh my god, how did you disarm the bomb? You're such a great man, blah, 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 blah. He's like, only thing I can say to those terrorists is interception. Now the ball's in our court. Jim Carrey. Yeah. It's just Jim Carrey.
Oh my god, that's legitimately what I had in my notes. Fucking quote Jim Carrey. He just turns into fucking Ace Ventura for 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's 100%. And then we get treated to another ass grab that fucking no one sees.
Good lord.
But now that he's disarmed this bomb and he's, catching all these people, he's like, he's talking to his fucking wife and he's telling her about the day and all these literal amazing accomplishments that he has gotten done in a fucking day. Like, legendary things that would make someone beyond a fucking superstar. And he's just talking about him like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. And he's sipping wine, and as he's getting more and more quote unquote drunk, he's like, I write my own ticket. Okay. And it's literally, again, not to sound homophobic, but he sounds just like a very sassy gay man.
Maybe he just wants a little flair on it. Like, he knows that Castor Troy is a man of flair, and he wants to, I don't know, portray that man being inside of him. No, that's gay too. Never mind.
Like 2 finger snaps and a head tilt from fucking, the two guys that are like, hated it on Living Color. But anyways, he plans this big fucking dinner and then fucks John Travolta's wife.
To be honest, he's such an evil guy. I'm surprised he went through that entire effort just to get laid.
And if he was gonna do that, it was with his wife and not his daughter? Because that seems like the real evil thing to do, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. I just wanted to forget about it.
No.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the wife comes home to this...
shit and, ruin that dynamic that way in case something ever were to happen. Like, oh man, let's say this backfires in some way and he gets me. Well, his daughter will never be able to look at him again.
True.
Yeah, not after looking at him straight at that chin.
No.
But this feast that he brings his wife home to is like, there's all kinds of things. There's candles all over the place. There's like 3 or 4 full lobsters there, and like spaghetti and all these other things that don't go together.
No, it was 2 lobsters and some cheddar biscuits. This motherfucker went to Red Lobster, got the 2 for $20 deal, and fucking booked it home.
Ooh, that sounds delicious, actually. Those Cheddar Bay biscuits. Ooh!
Sponsor us, please. Sponsor us. Thank you, Red Lobster. We love you.
So now we get treated to one of the most interesting scenes, yet at the same time one of the most random, unexplained bullshit scenes. The prison escape.
This prison is supposedly in the middle of nowhere. Geneva Convention does not apply. The most secure location imaginable. And they just cause a scuffle and just kind of go out the back door.
Yeah. And he does have a real cool scene, though. He beats up some dudes. He actually starts a fight with a guard, which starts a riot. And all this is because he wanted a cigarette.
It's like a domino effect of stuff that there's no way he thought of this on the fly.
No,
so
there's
the only
no
way
fucking way it worked out.
Yeah, the only way you can get the boots taken off if you're in the infirmary getting fucking your brain zapped because you've been a bad boy that day. So he starts the fight by taking the cigarette from the guy, and then he takes that to the infirmary or whatever, and he sees the other guy who had a sex sandwich with his wife and daughter, and he's getting his shock treatment. They throw him on the ground, they put him in the chair, he's like, no, wait a minute. And then he's just like, hey pal, I didn't really have a sex sandwich with your fucking wife and daughter. It was all just a bunch of whatever, man. I was like, you're the man, you're the shit, man, you're the shit.
And Dubov was the shit.
And he gets up, and there's a cigarette burn again, which is a reoccurring theme. So maybe it's a fetish that's deep down with Mr. Director fella.
At least it's not feet.
So
I
they get loose in this fucking ridiculous escape, and he's like, "Let's escape, friend!" And we get more Power Ranger sparks. There's an actual Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds real bad too.
Yeah, it's not. It's just so upfront. It's like, ooh, that's a 90-year-old sound file.
Nick Cage, is supposed to be portraying an undercover cop. Inadvertently, while at the same time advertently, is causing the death of countless guards in this escape.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
not just guards. I don't want to call them innocent, but also other prisoners and stuff. They were just like having a lunch, and now they're all murdered and whatnot.
Yeah, shit is fucking popping off crazy, and we're 1 hour into a fucking 2-hour movie.
By the way, we're also 1 hour into this podcast.
Subscribe.
They make it out. Well, Nick Cage makes it out. The buddy doesn't. And he gets up to the top, and it's completely a fucking Nakatomi Plaza Die Hard ripoff scene.
They're just on an oil rig platform, which is supposedly in the middle of nowhere. But when the camera does its like little 360 thing, you got the coast just like fucking 10 minutes away. Like you can see it. They're just off the beach.
Not only do you see the coast, but you also see the emergency rescue boat there for the stuntman for the jump.
No, those are the emergency rescue for the prisoners, just in case they fall off. That's all.
But they leave that shit in the film, and Nick Cage has no choice but to be like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, and jump off. You're not supposed to be anywhere near anything, but he somehow just swims to shore like it's no big fucking thing.
There's a helicopter in the air, and even when he jumps off, I guess they're just like, well, guess he's probably gonna die. He can't swim, right? Yeah, let's just, it's time for lunch, right?
Yeah, just like the whistle blows, like the Flintstones.
They were like, this never happened.
Mulligan.
Yeah. And then we cut to John Travolta walking to his vehicle because he's got things to do because he just learned that Castor Troy has escaped from prison. And he's like, well, I don't like this. And the wife is like, where are you going? I know that it's a rough day for you and all this, that, and the other. And it's pouring the fucking rain. Pouring it. And this is the day of their son's birth. So it's the dead son's birthday and they got to go visit the grave. And they go to visit the grave. And guess what? It's not fucking raining. It's sunny. The ground's not even remotely moist. It's one of those things that just pissed me off. Other than that, the scene is unimportant.
It's Southern California. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, water's a scarcity.
There's just a fucking bad cry where she's like, just...
I know that this movie goes out of their way to show you that this is the evil or Castor Troy as John Travolta, whatever you want to call it. But it's this little scene kind of bored me. Like, I get it. You didn't have to show me or go as far as to show me them going to the kid's grave just so he can act indifferent. Like, I get it.
Yeah, he really does.
Like, he could have just driven away and been like, I'm not going.
Yeah, 100%. He could be like, whatever, work dog, and just like, whatever.
This movie got an 83 on Metacritic.
That's 3 laughs out of that. You should be proud.
So, the plot thickens at this point, and Nick Cage is back on the mainland, and he calls the wife. He's like, your husband isn't your husband. She's like, fuck you, you're a liar. And he's got no choice and nowhere to go, so what does he do? He goes to hang out with Castor Troy's bad guy buddies.
Oh, those poor guys.
Yeah, it ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Literally. And
yeah, it looks like a fun time, honestly.
They're such just like stock bad guys. Like they refer to their drugs as drugs. There's just no imagination there.
Yeah, I have written down here they take drugs.
Yeah, would you like one drugs? But the worst thing is, there's a bald dude in here, the one that you referenced as Mr. Clean earlier. He is by far the best fucking actor in this movie. And he's just not even trying.
I mean, for a hot minute, like, is that Doug Bradley? Is that the guy who played the Max Headroom? Like, I was just rattling people off. Like, who is that? Who is that?
He's doing drugs and fucking grabbing peaches. And he's like, man, Castor, what's wrong? And he's like, I gotta go to the little boy's wee-wee room. But first, I want to take off his face. And he's like, what? I want to take his face off.
Woo! Said it! Woo! Yep, he said it. We got there, everybody.
Hey,
Face off.
And to celebrate this occasion, I'm going to crack open a bottle. So what I'm drinking on today is from Ommeggang Brewing Company out of Cooperstown, New York. They are they're an American brewery, but they specialize in like Belgian-style beers. This is called their Dubbel Merlau. It's a Belgian-style double ale fermented with Merlot grape juice, aged in red wine barrels. It smells like a really solid, like good, sweet, robust Belgian-style ale. Prune and plum, cherry notes. There's some like dry toastiness in there. But what I'm really feeling, you can really taste that wine, the tannins. This is the first time I've really ever tasted tannins in beer, and there's a lot of that here. Like, the two flavors go together pretty well, but it's not something that I've ever had in a beer before. But, 2 thumbs up on it. I love just about everything that they put out.
Well, hell yeah. Sponsored. I'm just sad they didn't have a hint of peach.
No peach. No peaches. Just grapes.
I try to put the emphasis on there for you. All right. He's tripping on booger sugar, and he's sitting in the bathroom. And he's looking in the mirror, and it's, he's seeing Nicolas Cage's face. And that isn't his face, that's the face of his archenemy. And he's like, I'm so angry. And he's pointing a gun at it. And all of a sudden, Gina Gershon walks in, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And he spins around, and he points the gun at her. And he's like, Castor, are you okay? And he puts on this fucking insane smile. And he's like bobbing his head up and down. Dude, what the fuck?
He just looks like the guy who just stubbed his toe and he's totally into it.
Yeah!
You're not wrong.
It's just so fucking weird. And this movie does a lot of hard cuts, because then we hard cut right to Hyde from That 70s Show trying to rape John Travolta's daughter.
And then he just gets the shit kicked out of him immediately.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have gotten along pretty well because they're both Scientologists, but no. John Travolta straight up kicks the shit out of this kid's window, drags him through the broken glass window, and beats the fuck out of him.
He didn't want him diddling his daughter before he did.
No!
You're right.
Oh.
So he takes his daughter inside, and you get a line that is like kind of brilliant but kind of real corny. dress up like Halloween, and ghouls will try and get in your pants.
And she's like, "Calling me a whore, Dad."
Yeah. Do you have protection? What do you mean, like a condom? No, here, take this butterfly knife.
Wait. Okay. So you're talking about the butterfly knife? He's sitting in a fucking lazy boy recliner, and he is fully in chill mode. And he says, "Take this," and he's still sitting in this fucking recliner. And then he says, "Take this." And when he does, he is instantly standing up in front of her, unwinding this knife. Like he just fucking popped up like a fucking ninja instantly, because it just goes from him sitting to him standing instantly in the same sentence without him ever fucking moving.
I'm glad you noticed it, because the entire time I was thinking, those aren't his hands. It's just like Jareth's hands from fucking Labyrinth. It's just somebody else just doing it for him.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Castor, I guess fake Castor Troy. You see his brother spying on him, you know, just checking on, see what Sean Archer is actually doing.
Yeah. And just quickly, in this next scene, we find out that the little boy that Sasha had was actually fathered by Nick Cage's character, or Castor Troy. And there's a little weird moment where he's like, "Oh, a boy, just like my boy, who died! No!"
It's so fucking weird. He's all grabby with the kid. But did anyone else... Yeah, did anyone else get confused by the whole sex-ish scene where she's like, "You're not gonna leave? Well, what do you expect me to do? Do you want me to just jump on you?" And then she just jumps on me. "You want me to kiss you? I'll never do this." And as she's saying she'll never do it, she's literally doing it.
I mean, that's just the power of Cage, baby.
I'm not disagreeing. You know, but she was willing to lose this kid over Castor's D.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused about their relationship dynamic. I'm still a little confused, but I care a lot less now.
They're like, "Oh, look, it's your son. He's 5. Biggest 5-year-old ever."
Oh, even the movie's whatever. Next action scene.
Yeah.
Fucking next action scene is literally the FBI shoots to kill.
Yeah, there's a big raid on this gangsta party that Nick Cage is at.
I mean, the firefight starts immediately that morning, or that afternoon, whatever. They've been doing that fucking cocaine for who knows how long. And the bad guys just get up, annoyed that there's just another raid on their place. It's like, "All right, boys, let's go to town." Click, click.
Yeah, they all start shooting, and there's only one line delivered in this whole melee. "My place is getting fucked up."
That's it. I fucking hated that line. It's so bad. And you could tell it was shot way later, just put in there for no reason.
Yeah.
Is it like one of those, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane bits?
Oh, it's the TBS version.
Yeah. We get that line, and then the kid has to wear these headphones with somewhere over the rainbow going during this action montage. So there's a lot of broken glass, a lot of, just the zoomed in gun shooting as a bullet comes out.
Okay, John Woo, his filmmaking is extremely flamboyant. Just flamboyant action, and you have these things where he's just trying to be just a little bit overt, a little bit just artsy with his action, so you'll get the doves, and then you'll get those quiet moments when you're listening to Somewhere Over the Rainbow while people are just getting torn to shreds by bullets. And man, does it come off as just a bunch of pretentious bullshit.
Are you saying this is Threat Level Midnight by Michael Scarn?
It could be.
It's very, very gaudy. It's just so much, so quick, and nonsensical.
I feel like at this point, the dialogue between the director and the editor in the editing room was just "No, keep it. Really.
No, keep it. You
can't we need a 2-hour run.
Keep it."
Yeah.
During all this, Castor Troy, as John Travolta, has snuck in, and Gina Gershon, Sasha, is running out with their child to rescue the child. He's literally going to shoot his own kid, and Gina Gershon, just for shits and giggles, I guess, and the bald dude just happens to kind of stumble in front of the round and get shot, and you're like, oh, well, he's dead. And then it cuts to him like, get the kid out of here. And he turns around and looks at Nicolas Cage, who is, Sean Archer, and blood is spraying out of his neck. He just got shot in the fucking neck. We had some good times, didn't we, man? He's like, yep, okay, well, I'm dead now. He just falls over.
Yeah, it's like, we had some good ones, and that's it.
Thank you for that little indication that guy is dead now. I didn't get that from the massive amount of blood that was coming out of his neck.
I don't know the guy. I didn't even have time to just like give a shit. The movie's just like, well, he's dead as fuck. I'm sorry.
He seemed like a nice guy. He had a nice apartment.
Well, not only that, he was kind to the kid, kind to the woman. Even though he was a drug dealer, arms dealer, who knows what else, he seemed like he had a perfectly good set of morals when it came to the people that he loved.
He was one of the most human characters in this film. He's just a dude. He never in film does anything that's negative. He's just a positive dude having a party.
I'll go out on a limb and say he did not deserve getting his place fucked up.
That we know of, correct.
That we know of, yeah. The next thing we know, we have another face-off scene, another mirror scene where we've got one of the guys on one side of a mirror, one of the guys on the other side of the mirror. They're both looking at each other, or looking at the mirrors, and come on, man. Yeah,
and you got the director in the background just being like, symbolism!
This is brilliant, right?
Don't get it? And then there's more explosions, and gunfire, and dead brother.
Yeah, I do have explosion -Y.
Yeah. It doesn't even. There's just an explosion, and then Nicolas Cage is somehow on a fucking zip line.
Yep, Indiana Jones style, swinging, knocking his brother, whose name I forget, Pollux, into like a glass roof.
Gladiators. He fucking swings over, grabs him with his legs like an eagle, like whoa, and fucking carries him over a glass window. It's like squaw, and lets him go.
No matter how ridiculous this is, after Nick Cage broke that mirror, he received 7 years of bad luck with the IRS.
He also received an 83 on Metacritic.
God damn, he stole my thunder.
You get Pollux dead, and John Travolta as Castor Troy is like, oh no, my brother, and the cop's like, dude, who gives a shit? It's fucking Pollux, and he just shoots this dude in the head, and red Kool-Aid pours out. He's like, oh yeah!
That guy was like last day before retirement. I bet that shotgun wasn't even loaded. He just wanted to hold it.
Yeah, he's like, I usually work in the office getting coffee. I'm an intern.
He's the mail guy.
He's an intern, but it's his last day on the job.
Oh, yeah. He's the guy that delivers the lunches and brings him his tuna fucking melt every day. All of a sudden, we're back in the office with John Travolta's character, and he's talking all this shit about how he's going to do anything it takes to get this, that, and the other, while his angry boss is like, you can't do it! And then he looks at him with a side eye, and the side eye almost gives the old man a heart attack. He's like,
yeah, like he's in the process of actually having a heart attack here. Then he's like, damn it, I want pictures of Spider-Man!
God damn it. And then he proceeds to karate chop 3J right in the neck for no reason, and just like haymakers him right in the chest.
My exact fucking note says, judo chop! Just, he fucking judo chops him.
Like, and then how's the neck chop even just like, Well,
not only that, but he like judo chops him, and then when he falls on the ground, he fucking palm thrusts him in the chest. That's gonna be 2 gigantic bruises.
We need to just settle on John Travolta in this character is Austin Powers. That's all there is.
Also, you tell me, like, when they do the autopsy and see those 2 giant bruises, like, gentlemen, this man's heart attack attacked him from behind.
It came from the outside.
Nick Cage then goes to visit his house, Sean Archer's home, and when he walks in, he's like bloodied and beat up, and it's the fucking delivery is just like Frankenstein. He walks into the door and closes it behind him. He's bloody and he's looking around the room, and he goes, It's so fucking bad.
I thought that was laughable. It's just like, yeah, we're not stupid as an audience. We know where you are.
Yeah.
Like, he just said that just like, whatever.
Oh. And then, okay, this is something that we've been glossing over. The entire time during this film, every time that John Travolta's character, Sean Archer, now being portrayed as Nicolas Cage, sees someone he loves, he does this stupid fucking face swipe where he takes his open hand and runs it down the length of their face. And this keeps happening, and that's how he tries to soothe his beraggled, wife, who now sees, Castor Troy in her home. She's like, "Oh no, you're the bad guy." He's like, "No, baby, it's me. Hand down your face. You know it's me. Hand down your face."
I feel like this is something that's in like the DVD commentary where John Travolta's like, "Yeah, I asked Mr. Wu why he needed that little hand motion to symbolize anything, and that's when he told me to suck his crouching tiger, hidden dragon."
But he's like, "You gotta believe it's me, baby. My blood type's this, and his blood type's that. Just check it out. Just think about it, Limp Bizkit." And so that night, the wife gets his blood. By his blood, I mean John Travolta's character blood, which she takes this fucking pin with a dagger on the end of it, or a diabetes checker.
No, it's a blood pin. But, like, I know she's a doctor on call, but why does she fucking have that equipment with her?
I mean, I get it.
That'd be like saying, like, "Is anybody on this plane a doctor?" And she stands up with a scalpel. Like, okay, she's just ready.
Yes.
What you need.
But she stabs him in the back of the arm with this fucking I guess it's supposed to be that big? I don't really know. The fucking thing looks like it's as long as a thumbtack. And she drives it into his tricep, and he doesn't even budge.
He does.
No, he flinches, but not in the way that you.
Dude, that'd be like getting stung by a bee, at least.
He just gets, like, pricked by. He's like, "Ah! Ah!"
Yeah, that's what should have happened. Or he, like, gets pricked and he just rolls over and makes that weird Nicolas Cage face where he's like, "Ah!"
Ew. And she's just like, "Did you just stub your toe?"
Were you into
Yeah, but I'm
it?
kind of into it. Yes.
And then, like, she leaves in the middle of the night. Her excuse is that, she's a doctor on call, so, don't worry about it. And she goes to the blood lab to test everything. And, of course, Nick Cage is right. Blood is different. And Nick Cage is just there! He's been waiting in that blood lab for who knows how long at this point.
He just does a sneaky on her.
He's just in back there like, "I told you, baby."
I knew you would trust me, but you underestimate the sneakiness.
I just picture him just like there, just like, "Huh, I'm a coat rack."
Yeah, but then she's like, "How do I know it's you?" He's like, "Oh, here's a story about a dentist," and she's like, "It is you."
Oh my god.
Then what do we?
I just realized that he just stands there and is like, "Listen, let me tell you a story all about how my life got turned upside down."
I'd like to take a minute to just sit right there.
And I'll tell you a story about... No, I'm not going to go into that. But no,
How
this is...
lost all his hair. But
no, in this story right here that he tells about how, I guess, he had his first date with her, she's a vegetarian or something, right?
Yeah.
And in that that feast that the other him brought to her, there's like fucking lobsters and shit. Like, so,
she wouldn't have caught him.
Yeah. Like,
Look, you're not.
Why do you have 6 lobsters here? You know I ain't gonna eat any of that.
Maybe she just don't eat, like, red meat. I know some people who are like, "I don't eat beef or chicken, but I eat fish."
Well, we don't know this character. We know she's a vegetarian, but we don't know if there's any, asterisks on the...
way too into it.
I'm just saying, like, that might have been an indicator for her that, maybe this guy's telling the truth.
Yeah, but then she got dicked down by a guy who knows how to lay pipes, so she was like, "Fuck."
We don't even know how good that sex was.
At least a sandwich.
Just the fucking tuna breath.
Ew.
So now she's like, "Okay, well, there's a funeral tomorrow," and they come together with this little plan that she can get rid of the daughter, but she's going to have to be there. And he's like, okay, well, I gotta make my getaway, and you think he's gonna get caught, but she's in there with a guy with a napkin on his face, and John Travolta rips it off, and he's like, oh, this dude really does have a serious face wound. She's like, the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm jealous, baby. And his henchmen are his original henchmen. This is a fucking FBI agent who is constantly, or whatever the fuck he is, constantly being looked at because he's like, the people are wondering how you know all this shit. You know too much. And he's running around with his old goons. These are literally the same goons that he had drop him off at the fucking plane earlier in the film.
Man, can you imagine that? If, like, I don't know, I was just going to create a parallel between him and, like, President Trump because he's still running around with the same goons, just putting him in, like, public office now.
Ooh, topical.
Yep.
But it's just fucking weird. Like, the FBI would go, hey, that's that guy. He's wanted. Why is he with you? Oh, well, he's my personal protection. Wait, what? You know?
And all of his office coworkers like, I don't want to say anything. He's loud now.
He's loud now. Oh, shit.
Nick Cage and his former current wife kind of make this plan. So since the deputy, whatever his name is, died, they're going to have like a funeral procession for him. So they're like, hey, we're going to ship the kid off to Grandma's house. But I have to stay with John Travolta or else, you'll suspect something, yada, yada, yada.
And they go to the funeral, and everyone's in a fucking suit. Nick Cage looks like he does in Lord of War, and everyone else is doing this, and you think that there's not going to be doves, because at first they're teasing, like, these seagulls, and you're like, okay, cool, he's using seagulls and not doves. Nope. There's fucking doves, too. Birds.
Fucking doves.
They're just everywhere. It's just like somebody had like a handful of birds and just threw them on set. They're just like haphazardly.
Yeah, like they fucking go in, they're everywhere, and the amount of Christ imagery that you are being forced to look at is just like wow.
It's not smart. It's just so full of itself. And even fucking John Travolta does like a Jesus pose in a couple minutes, and it's like, Christ.
For no reason at all.
And then, now it's time for the big fucking showdown.
The showdown that lasts 27 minutes.
Yeah, it does. Big action finale. It goes on for fucking ever. And there's a bit where he goes, I'm Caster, and that's Archer.
It's such just like a Looney Tunes delivered line. Like, if Jim Carrey was in John Travolta's place, this movie would be like 100 times better. It's just like, I'm him and he's me. Just like that. He's just so smarmy about it.
I think a big issue is John Travolta doesn't know what kind of actor he should be. Like, I think he's fine as an actor. He's got some chops down.
I guess.
He doesn't need to be in this role at all.
I mean, has he really ever been good? I kind of thought of that earlier. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's the Saturday Night Fever guy, and, that's how he rose to fame.
Excuse me, he was Vinny goddamn Barbarino.
No, okay, I was gonna say minus Pulp Fiction because Tarantino rarely ever misses.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah, not Vincent Vega.
Oh, okay, yeah. The V's. I got the V's mixed up.
We get treated to them pointing guns at each other. There's like a gun here, and he's like, I got you. He's like, no, I got you. You put your gun down. No, you put your gun down. As some other unnamed person steps out of the shadows, and I was just like, fucking guns, guns, guns.
Yeah, it's like a Mexican standoff in like 3 different levels.
I felt like at one point the priest should come out and just have those like fucking wrist guns come out.
Espiritu Sante.
Yeah. His Vaya Candidas.
Oh, Vaya Candidas, bitch. But it turns into the Boondock Saints, and it's like, and there was a firefight, and there's even the fucking crossing the arms and shooting the guns. A fucking Wyatt Earp. Just
this is so aggravating.
Oh, did that mention more doves?
Oh yeah, just throw them in there. Literally throw them in there. Hey, dove guy, just yeet him on stage.
Just fucking slinging them in slow-mo on screen. They're not even flying, they're just hurtling through the air.
This whole gunfight scene is so frustrating, because if you've ever seen John Woo's early stuff, like Hard Boiled or anything, his action scenes are almost fucking perfect. They're beautiful, they're well choreographed. This one's so fucking messy, it's like he wrote this idea, let's have 7,000 people in a Mexican standoff, and see how many people can dodge the first fucking shot.
Yeah, this is
All
kind
of-
of amazing in that only the bad guys get shot.
Oh yeah. Now, no, because technically Gina Gershon is a quote-unquote good guy here, and she dies and falls on top of Nicolas Cage.
She just goes like, take
What?
care of my boy.
She is clearly aligned with the Castor Troy section of this whole thing.
Well, she was just one of his peaches. She's not necessarily a bad guy.
Duh.
So she's laying on top of him like, take care of our
Anybody-
son. And the Sean Archer character, which is being portrayed by Nick Cage at the moment, is just like squish face looking down there like, yeah, sure, bitch. And he just kind of like dry palm pushes her off, like, get off me.
He totally had just like a, ew, slide.
Yeah. Like she was the one that had the tuna melt that day, and he was like, ugh.
God damn it.
Are we to the lick yet?
Yeah, let's skip to the leg. So they wind up killing everybody except for the important people. They meander outside. This gunfight it's stupid. So they get to like this little courtyard or whatever, and we wind up having John Travolta keeping Archer's daughter hostage as they quietly figure out who's who, because she's kind of like the only one that does know what's up. And he's just playing this game like, oh ho ho, which side's who's what, whatever, yada yada.
Like, I'm
And-
your father. I'm not your father. I'm your.
He's your
I'm-
daddy, I'm your daddy. Don't call the cops.
Oh no. She pulls out that fucking knife and stabs him in the leg, and he's like, "Ooh," like a fucking Wookiee. All hell breaks loose yet again, and he goes running off the fucking down the beach and jumps in a boat.
And this is where I got fucking fed up. Holy shit.
It's like, goddamn, die! Like, he's being choked at one point, and Nicolas Cage, is going, die! Please, God, die! And he just won't fucking die.
But it goes.
83.
I feel like at this point they had run out of money, and John Woo was like, listen, we need helicopters, we need a car chase, and we need a jet, like that True Lies movie. And the budget guy was like, listen, I'll give you 2 boats and a harpoon.
We got
He
2
was like,
speedboats.
"Sold."
We got them till this afternoon. We gotta finish this fucking movie.
And so we get the
He's like-
fucking first scene.
He's like, movie got a movie, y'all, let's do it. Let's go.
All right, so
That's-
there's a speedboat chase.
Yep.
One of them
Uneventful.
goes through a fucking LAPD patrol boat.
Like,
Straight
Ramps
through.
out that shit,
Yeah,
GTA style.
shit
Like a
is.
hot knife through butter.
Yeah, this is just a ridiculous series of events. But we end up with fucking.
With a fucking boat catapult. Their anchor gets wrapped around this thing after a drawn-out fight, which you're just at this point so actioned out you don't give a shit.
True.
That's not
And-
good action.
True. And the anchor gets wrapped around up here, and they start doing loops around it until finally, ka-choom, they get catapulted. These 2 poor fucking stuntmen literally get catapulted.
And you just see them like paused in the air, just like ooh, like they're
Them
fucking.
boys is at it again.
Oh, record screech. I bet you're wondering how we got here.
But these stuntmen, it shows them hit the fucking beach. Good lord, does it look like they get fucked up.
No, like I said just a bit ago, they ate shit. Like, absolutely. This stunt, I'll give it props. It is 100% practical. The boat flips, they get launched off, it does a twirl, the boat explodes, all in frame. Fine, cool. Now onto the harpoon.
Definitely fine, definitely cool, extremely whatever.
Yeah.
So
I think
once
that's printed
they
on the
hit
movie, isn't it?
Yes. Once they hit the ground, you would expect them to have some sort of, okay, at least we're hurt, we're limping. No, they're not done. They're not fucking broken. They get up. They're just fucking fine. Beach
And
ball.
there are some like flaming bits of boat strewn about the beach there,
But
but
really,
they're fine.
yeah, but really, it's just like the Blues Brothers when they had a whole building fall on top of them, and they just kind of dust themselves off and go on about their day.
Yeah. And then we get the harpoon zoom. There's a harpoon laying there, and the camera wants to zoom in on it during the action 4 separate times.
Just to remind you, we have
It's
a harpoon.
Well, guess what? Sean Archer, aka Nicolas Cage, grabs a hold of this, stabs fucking John Travolta, who is Castor Troy, in the leg with it, and he's like, fucking die! And he tries to shoot him, but, John Travolta's got those big old meaty hands, and he grabs the harpoon, and it won't go into him. And instead he's like, you're gonna, every time you see this face, you're gonna think of me. And he starts carving his own face off with a piece of glass.
He's such
That
a
happens.
crazy guy.
Moose is in the house.
Exactly. And then the harpoon finally comes out, stabs him in the gut, and he gets another fucking goddamn Elvis thing as he's like, I'm ready for the big house.
I think at that point, John Travolta was just like trying to rub into Nick Cage as he's playing Nick Cage.
Yeah. You know, I could just say happily ever after, but it's still not fucking done. They get into a goddamn ambulance and he reaches over and takes off his wedding ring and puts it on his own finger.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fit because of fucking John Travolta's giant sausage fingers are so much bigger than Nick Cage's.
But like the movie itself at that point is just trying to wrap up as quick as possible. Like he he gets shoved into the ambulance and the doctor's like, "Don't worry, we can resurgery you. We have top men."
We've got our top men from DC, and yeah, that's it. That we can fix you. Everything's gonna be okay. Movie is wrapped.
They managed to re-add all that fat, and like John Travolta's strolling up to his house, almost like in an Armageddon ending kind of way.
I got a question. Would he choose to re-add all that fat?
I'd be like, hey man, I look pretty good, leave it be.
Like, I've been working for a couple years to get rid of this extra 30 pounds. Can you just leave it off?
Yeah, and he's like, well, the doctor's like, you know what? We saw your physique. You know what it missed? A couple dozen tuna melts. So we just put them right in, one by one. And you know what? Right is right, I tell you.
So, we come to the end, which is fucking stupid. It's him walking through the front door, and his daughter being like, I'm sorry I shot you, Dad. What? The wife is standing there, and she's like, oh, baby, it's good to have you home. He's like, I know, right? And look what I brought. It's a puppy, but it's not a puppy. It's Castor Troy's fucking kid.
It's fucking
It's a
cousin
whole
Oliver.
ass kid. It's a whole ass kid.
And she's just like shaking her head like, yeah, sure, this is great. This is a smart idea. You know? And it's like that meme. It's like,
This
a falling apart
child
relationship.
can
Let's
replace
have
the
a
child that we
slap
lost
it.
6 years ago.
Because he looks just like him.
Yeah.
And then he hugs the entire group. He's hugging the wife, the daughter, and the son, and his head is prominent right there in the middle. And I swear to God, I fucking swear, I thought he was going to look up at the camera and it was going to be like the Thriller ending and his eyes were going to be yellow. And it was like...
That's what I fucking told Chandler today earlier. I was like, man, I wish like there was like some little like look at the camera, like a glimpse or whatever, like he was still Castor Troy.
Yeah, like the Mystique thing where she would look at the camera at the end of the movie to let you know that she wasn't the politician, it was actually Mystique.
Yeah, like he just winds up licking the kid or something.
Oh.
That would be an ending that I would sign up for.
Stop it.
But instead, it's just a good solid embrace for another 2 months of sexless marriage.
Yep. Cut to credits.
Yep.
Okay, so Face Off. What did you guys think?
That movie was fucking ridiculous. You kidding?
So sincere.
I fucking hate that I like this movie. I hate it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a great way to put it.
But I would watch it again. If you go into it thinking that you're going to watch an actual action thriller that's poignant in any way, shape, or form, you're fucking wrong. If you're going in to see a train wreck of a fucking film and just laugh, dude, it's for you.
This is like a circus on a bullet train.
Yeah, this movie is totally coming from the perspective of John Travolta and Nick Cage sitting next to each other, just in Lazy Boys, watching old SNL. It's like, you know what? We can be wild and crazy guys too, huh?
Yeah.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
I hate how, like, us explaining that last bit is way better than the movie itself.
It might be. How much of all of this do you think was just like off the cuff?
All of it.
Like that lick. I want to know about the lick. Is that in the script?
They were just trying to one-up each other the entire fucking film. Like, oh, you
No
did some
doubt.
shit. Watch
Yeah.
this.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that was Face Off from 1997. If you have any thoughts on the movie or this podcast, leave them in the comments below.
Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you tap that little bell icon so you know next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on all of our different social media accounts. We got a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We got an administrator who's constantly pumping out new content for you guys, so make sure you check it out. Just always get back around to us, because if you don't, maybe we'll show up at your house wearing a family member's face and lick you.
Ew.
83.